Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Good evening. Thank you so much as everyone comes on in. We are excited this evening to share this special workshop with our audience. So I'm just going to give everybody some time. We are live. We are welcoming Blessed Girl TV on YouTube and on Facebook. If you are joining, we just want to say welcome, welcome. This is a special Sunday episode of a Blessed Girl workshop. And so we're super excited. If you can join us, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from, where you're listening in from. Good evening, good evening. I see Cecile is there. Thank you, thank you. Oh, guys, so we're super excited about tonight's event and its workshop. And if you saw our flyer, we are talking about the 3 R's, right? So if you're watching, put in the 3 R's. You want to know what the 3 R's are? We are talking about the 3 R's tonight. And I'll just stop for a minute and just introduce myself if you are not familiar with me. So my name is Dr. Anana Pfeiffer, and I'm the founder of Blessed Girls and the creator of the 4C's Initiative. And I tell you what, I'm passionate about creating change today for a better tomorrow. So as you stay connected with our organization, with Blessed Girls, you will see programs just like this on a regular basis that are geared towards making change to make things better. How about that? We know that, listen, in order for things to get better, some things got to change. And we are boldly making those changes in our unique way. So I'm happy to share this evening's workshop with you. It is titled The 3 R's. Yes, the 3 R's. And many my age and older, you might know the 3 R's used to be reading, writing, and arithmetic. Anybody remember those, the 3 R's? But however, today we are referring to the 3 R's, which is an initiative, and it aims to promote, right, the opportunity for us to reduce, reuse, and recycle. And we want to do this globally around the world. So as we build a sound material system, a society, we know that we can effectively keep the resources and materials that we need and reduce the waste. All right, waste management. So together today, we are learning about reducing, reusing, and recycling. So as we learn to reduce, listen, reduce is to simply create less waste. Can we all do that? We all can come together and create less waste. And one of the few just examples of creating less waste is packing your lunch and using a lunchbox, a reusable lunchbox. I do have one, but I don't want to leave the screen to go get it for you. I tried to have some show and tell today, right? Another thing is to reduce, to learn to reduce is by, instead of using the plastic bags, yeah, you guys know about the plastic bags, How about we use reusable, and I'm not plugging any companies here, don't see the names, but let's use reusable bags when we go to the grocery store. Huh? How about that? So just a little bit of examples of things that we're going to be talking about today and learning more about, right? So that's one thing, right? What was that? Reduce, okay? Then the other one is reuse. That was, again, it was about using the bags, reusing bags, cleaning out your closet, sharing your clothes, giving them to Goodwill, right? Those things that don't fit you any longer and it's out of style, instead of hoarding it in your closet, how about we reuse that? Have a yard sale, just give away clothes, right? Donate them, right? To charity, right? Have a garage sale, right? We talked about that, okay? So those are some of the things. And lastly but not least is recycle. Recycling, is the most common used things, is making sure we're recycling our plastics, our metals, things like that. So that's just a little bit about what we're talking about today. And so as the founder of Blessed Girls, I've had the privilege of having and working with a Blessed Girls climate change champion. Yes, a champion. Now today she is actually leading this, facilitating this workshop. She is our Blessed Girls climate change champion. She is the co-author and the civilities author, Civility, Community, Creativity, and Climate Change. She is the author of the Climate Change Chapter, Miss Landra Richards. She has, listen, She is so passionate about this thing. She has a biology major. She's set to graduate in January 2022. We're so excited to celebrate her. She has 4 years experience in the field, and she's passionate about climate action. Right. And so I'm so happy that she is here today. She is certainly leading the way and leading the charge in regards to climate change, climate action, and doing all that she can to make sure that we raise awareness, we have the impact, and we are educating those around us. So she is here today to facilitate this workshop. I'm going to bring her up, guys. If you show some love and welcome Landra to the stage. Hello, Landra.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Anana, for the introduction. You basically said it all.
Oh, there's so much more. There's so much
I
more.
think it's so much more. There is definitely so much more apart from doing the things that I love with the environment and working along with the environment. I also do things outside of, doing the typical things that a biologist would do, which is ghostwriting and modeling and a few other things as well. But thank you so much for the introduction. I am a familiar face. Everybody knows who I am, of course.
Yes, yes. So the one thing that's new, because Landra was a part of our STEM workshops earlier this year. She was our scholarship winner, co-author. I mean, she's been doing some fantastic things this year in 2021, even post pandemic, during the pandemic. She was writing the book. But you know what? Now Landra, she really hails from Guyana, right? Originally, but actually, you've been to other parts of the world as well. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, I've been to Botswana as well. I know a couple of languages, including Setswana. I can understand a bit of Afrikaans, but I
Uh-huh.
haven't been there a while, so it's hard to understand. But I do know Swazi language,
Okay.
Sanbonani. Hi.
Sarbulani. Yes, yes. We learned that together. But you are now in the US, and we're excited.
I am, and this means bigger things are to come. There's more resources that are available here. I love it here so much, and and where I'm residing right now is absolutely surrounded by trees and forests. So this is absolute um, heaven for me, as you may imagine.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So we're like, I'm just staying tuned to watching what's next for you, and I'm excited that you are here to share and take the 3 R's initiative to another level. I am here to listen, to learn, and of course, we want to live civility clearly with the climate, with our earth, with the environment. So listen, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to turn this workshop over to you. I'm going to get my pen and pad, and I am ready to learn from you and your amazing guest tonight.
Thank you, Anana. So let's get into the nitty-gritties of the day. Let's talk about the sustainability initiative of finding luxury in everything. Reduce, reuse, recycle. We have heard it so many times before. It's been played in songs. You've seen it in your books. You've learned it in school. And they give you the basics of it in school, but there's so much more to what we can do or use when it comes to reusing, reducing, and recycling. So, in today's presentation, what we are going to touch on is, of course, the basics, which my special guest and dearest friend Nadia Ali will definitely touch on with you guys. And please pay keen attention to what she has to say because we definitely need the basics to understand further into the whole dynamics of what goes on in our world. And then after that, we will definitely talk about wasting. The throwaway culture that we have definitely creates an unfortunate downfall, and we can definitely look to address some of them. Then, once I've talked to you about the problems of wasting, we can then also go into talking about solutions, which I think 2021 and the pandemic came around trying to bring around the most in a circular economy. We'll get to know more about that. If you do not know about a circular economy, then that's okay. That is okay. We'll learn about it today. And finally, oh, my favorite project, Coco Loco, something I've been looking to work on that involves of course, reducing, reusing, and recycling. So it, of course, also involves using coconuts. So let's get into it. So here, I'll let my friend, my dearest friend Nadia, take you guys through the basics, and I'll also let her introduce herself. Take the stage, Nadia.
Thank you, Landra. So, good evening and special greetings to every one of you that are listening to me and us right now. My name is Nadia Ali, and I hail all the way from Guyana, South America. And I'm still here living right now because I'm in this country pursuing my bachelor's degree in biology right now. I am a current third year student, that is a junior at the University of Guyana, completing my bachelor's degree in biology. And I became really inclined to this, environmental thingy and the forest and the trees and the plants. Yeah. After hating it for a very long time, that's a very honorable mention. So I'm thankful for my friend Landra for recruiting me into this organization so that I can get to broaden my knowledge and spread awareness into this topic. And yeah, here we go today. So, to begin with, as you would have heard before, we are touching on reduce, reuse, and recycling. Recycle. Those are the three R's, and those are actually really, really, really important. Um, So to begin with, what I can say, what they are is actually they're a substantial. It's a substantial strategy, which seeks to conserve the environment, not just for us, but for our future environment, our future generations to come. So when we hear about the three R's, it's basically reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I know that most of us are familiar with these terms. And reduce simply means to cut down on waste, basically on items and resources that you use in a daily, and it is a thoughtful and careful act of purchasing or utilizing resources in a very careful manner because we are in this process we seek to think not just for us but for our environment as well. Reusing is simply a no-brainer. This is just the usage of materials more than once, and by once I don't mean just one, twice, or thrice. I mean as long as it is functional. So use it as many times as it is functional. And recycling is simply the exploitation of actual waste. So instead of eliminating that waste, you can be innovative and recycle, make it into new stuff. There are so many DIYs that people normally find happiness in doing, I know. So you can simply just use your actual waste and turn it into new creative stuff, and you can actually use them in your households and even gardens. And we know about the plastic bottles and even the glass bottles that we can do our DIYs with. And yeah, so Landra, I hand you over back to them.
Thank you. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you guys so much. You
You're
heard
welcome.
it from her yourself. Nadia did used to dislike the environment, but of course, nature has its way of just warming up your heart and helping you realize that, hey, you need me and I need you as well. So take care of me so I can take care of you. And mentioning the reuse of glass, and so on, and as Anana said, instead of using your plastic bottles, you can use, she had a little flask of hers. Definitely, you can definitely do that as well. So what we'll now go into is talking about waste. When we talk about waste, we're simply referring to that the materials that we find no longer useful, or we no longer want them, right? And the society that we live in today definitely has this addiction, or is just simply accustomed to a throwaway culture where we're constantly using, and then as soon as we're done using something, it's straight to disposal. And there's no question of what if we can use or do something about this, or use it in a different way. So let's play a game, okay? So I'm about to show you some pictures that were compiled by a photographer called Chris Jordan. Yes. So they were the pictures were a part of an exhibit called, Running the Numbers, an American self-portrait. And they highlight millions of objects that accumulate in the planet well beyond our sight. So let's see if you can recognize the following. Nadia, are you ready to take part in as well? So in the comments section, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you're watching this from, go ahead, make a guess. And maybe Anana, if you can just mention to me what people are saying, what they think it is, that would be great. So let's get into the game. This looks pretty, right? Very pretty art, right? But can somebody guess what it actually is? Nadia, would you like to take a guess? Maybe Anana?
It's definitely this our skeletal system, the dead us.
Okay, I'll take that. Skeletal system, definitely. That's what we're seeing. Anana, anything from the audience? Okay, I guess we're clear. Let me zoom in for you. Maybe then.
I don't know if you saw the comments. The Grim Reaper vaping. You have to read the comments. I didn't want to come back up.
I'm, I'm sorry, I can't see the comments with
Oh,
this.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Because you
so
got
that's
the
why.
sides up. All right.
But
So the
thank you for
vaping
the
or the
heads up.
Grim Reaper. That's what
All
we're
right, we got the Grim Reaper, we got the vaping, but I zoomed in for y'all. Let's see if we can get it this time. It's got words on it, little boxes. All right. Any guesses? You might want to correct yourself.
not yet.
All right. Well, I'm guessing you're still trying to figure it out. But you know what? I'm going to just tell you what it is. It's actually 200,000 cigarette packs.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Oh my
Waste
goodness.
art is also beautiful, but it also makes you realize the amount that we actually put to waste. Let's give it another shot. How about this? What does this look like? Nadia, you should
Are
know
you
this
showing
one.
us? Are you showing us a maze?
Hmm. Well, yes, it is a maze, but you need to guess, what it is made out of. Well, it's not exactly a maze, but okay. Kind of looks like pipelines, right?
Yeah, tunnels. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like pipelines and tunnels. But here,
Mhm.
what? Let's zoom in again. Does this make it any better? You can look at the bottom. It gives you like a little clue. I'm gonna give you a clue. We like to use them in parties.
Parties?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
You can't have a party
Straws?
with
Straws?
pardon?
Why said straws?
Straws. Okay, you're almost there, but no, not straws. But we put
Parties?
straws in them. Oh, here we go.
Cups?
There are 1 million plastic cups trashed every 6 hours in commercial flights.
Wow.
Amaze balls, right? Yep. All right, let's give it one last shot. One last shot. This should be simple. I promise you. If you know this, I would probably give you $100. You know your stuff. Nadia?
Okay, can you zoom in a bit?
Okay, we will zoom in.
What sediments are these now?
Sediments. Can't even recognize the things that we produce. Crazy.
Wow. I have no idea. Wait a minute. Oh, ain't nobody else there not guessing yet.
Okay,
Guys, you're supposed
water.
to guess. You might have to give instructions to the folks that's coming in. We're guessing what we're looking at, right? The original images and what it was made out of. Its origin. All right.
So, okay, like Anana said, the image that you see in front of you is actually a material, something that we produce constantly. And I would love for somebody to pick this up because we produce it. We see it every day in supermarkets, every day. Oh, I just gave you a really big clue. We see it in
Is it
supermarkets.
edible? Something we eat? No.
No, it's not something we eat. But here, what? I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the answer. It is 60,000 plastic bags discarded every 5 seconds. A whole ocean
60,000 of these. Oh my
every
God.
5 seconds.
Wow.
The
Oh, there was a
concept of
plastic
how
bag.
much we waste is now hitting you, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, it
Anybody
is.
feel it? Yeah, yeah, we feeling the slap. We definitely feeling the slap. I felt the same way when I saw it. But let's move on. Thank you for participating in the game. For those of you that came in and pitched your one or two answers, I'd have loved to give you guys the $100. All right. So now that we know how much we throw away and put to waste, I'm going to tell you that this is the current day linear economy. Most of us, most countries do follow this type of system where what we do is we take resources from our environment to create and make whatever we need, but it's only designed in a way that's meant for us to dispose of it once we're done using it. So it's take, make, and dispose. That's the type of tradition that we're following in today's economy, right? And because of this, what we end up doing is we end up creating a buildup of weight, and this type of model generates issues because one, of course, what we're going to be doing is that we're functioning based off of the idea that everything is long lasting. We're in a heaven. We're in planet Earth, a place where we can have bountiful resources. So what we're going to be doing is putting excessive pressure on ecosystem services, right? The services that our ecosystem provides, such as giving us food and so on and so forth. We're going to harvest those things as much as possible. This is what that linear economy functions on. It's harvest as much as possible to make as much money as possible, right? So putting strain on our resources. And then what it also ends up doing, because we're continuously taking and not thinking about putting back in, is that we're making a buildup of waste. And where does all the waste end up apart from being burnt or oh yeah, right, apart from being burnt, they end up being sent to landfills. And oftentimes, you think of landfills as a good thing because, hey, you know what, we're digging up soil and taking the waste out of sight where it doesn't have to obstruct anybody, and we think that's okay. But we'll learn the truth about landfills. You will learn the truth about landfills, right? So once these landfills are built up, we need to also understand that there is still the pollutants are still there, and they still exist within this landfill. And in in first world countries, what they do end up doing with the waste that's produced, because they wouldn't like to keep it, because they wouldn't like to because they wouldn't like to keep it inside of their country, what they end up doing is sending it to third world countries. We find this happening a lot with e-waste. Well, this is simply your electronic waste. Hi, I have a little friend here. You'll be learning about this soon when you grow old. It's called reduce, reuse, recycle. You know about it? All right. My friend here doesn't know about reduce, reuse, recycle. So I'm hoping after this we can definitely get her to sit down and learn a bit more about it. So as I was saying, what end up yes, what ends up happening with e-waste, which is our electronic waste, we use our laptops and we use our laptops, phones, and so on and so forth. And when it eventually breaks down, what we end up doing is throwing them away. And these are actually sent to your third world countries. when when your first world countries don't want to deal with it anymore, they're like, hey, you know what, we can't keep this here because we don't have space for that. So they send it to the third world countries to either make use of. But there are dangers to it, because within this e-waste are toxins being released to the environment. There was a uh, there is a video out on a e-waste landfill in Ghana. Unfortunately, I can't remember the specific name of the city, but they call it the city of waste within Ghana. If you're interested, please do the honors of going ahead and probably searching up the e-waste in Ghana, where toxins are being produced and people are actually doing dumpster dives looking for spare parts and so on that they can use to make a profit of. But little do they know they're being exposed to toxins that can actually be carcinogenic or cause cancer, right? So when we do these things like waste or don't second think about what we can do with something, this is what ends up happening. It either affects the environment or the people that live around the waste. Okay. So I thought I'd bring this forth because I think one of the biggest waste products that we end up producing is that we end up creating is actually comes from food. If I told you that 1/3 of the food that is produced never reaches consumers, would you believe me? Just imagine 1/3 of everything that we produce, and there are people out there that are hungry and need this food to eat. Would you believe me? Tons and tons of food going to waste. So I thought I'd throw the question out there. Um, why do you guys think that um, why do you guys think oh sorry, excuse me. Um, so why do you guys think that disposing of food into landfills is actually a big problem? Maybe in the comment sections, you can give a brief description like, oh, okay, I think because it affects this or it affects that. Because usually what we do is people would love to make compost, right? That's a great thing to do. They tell you make compost instead of like sending things to landfills. And that's a good idea, definitely. But there's also a problem when we waste food and send them off to landfills. Nadia, would you like to give it a shot?
Uh, I think food is gonna decompose and it's gonna turn into something harmful. That when it's emitted from those landfills can be harmful to us humans and to living organisms.
Well, yes, yes. The big biologist has got it. You have definitely got it. Great. So, what happens when we send food off to landfills and so on is that it ends up creating this gas, methane. We all know about methane. It's a powerful greenhouse gas. And what does it do? It breaks down our ozone layer. We've talked about this before over and over again. We've heard about it before over and over again. And yes, that's basically it. So when the food ends up decomposing in mass, imagine 1/3 of that mass decomposing to create loads, tons of methane gas. So now, not just the thing about the linear system is that not just are we creating impacts through how much we are wasting, but there are also economic losses that we have when we follow the linear culture. We'll get into this a little bit later, but one of the biggest one of the major food wastes that we usually sorry one of the major foods that we waste is it's a staple food for the wealthy and a resource for the rich. If you guys can give it a guess, again, of course, I'm going to be very interactive with you guys. Give it a guess. One of the biggest foods that we waste. It's a staple for the wealthy and a resource for the poor. Find it everywhere and anywhere you go. It's on the screen as well. That's a big hint.
Mama, you love in the class.
Anana, any feedback?
Yes, I don't know if you were seeing the comments. You got steak,
No,
chicken, vegetables on the bottom of the screen there. You got steak, chicken, vegetables.
okay, okay. We got steak, chicken, vegetables. Well, surprise, surprise, it's bread. It is bread.
Oh, I love bread.
Yes, we love bread, but it's one of the things that what ends up happening is that we leave it there outside for too long, and as soon as it expires, oh shoot, it's expired. We throw it away. How often do you guys do that?
But you know, the fact that you said for the wealthy, that's what made me think like the wealthy and bread. Like I didn't even consider that.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, Tanisha says, wow.
So
Bread.
yes. So in New Zealand, bread is actually one of the most wasted foods, of course, because it's also the most wasted food all across the world. But anyways, to tackle this problem, New Zealand said no. You know what? We aren't going to waste bread. And if you guys did not know, New Zealand was one of the first countries to be part of this zero waste principle, where they try to reuse and reuse, reduce, recycle anything and everything possible. So what ends up happening is that they would take bread that is discarded. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, before I forget to mention, please let's encourage our markets not to waste food and bread and so on. I know there are protests going on around about the wastage that our markets are doing just because they want to make a profit. If it's not going to be sold, then it's going to be destroyed and thrown out. And that's something I believe we really need to fight against. And it's a very capitalism is very unfair in ways that I cannot describe. But yes, it is what it is. No, it's not is what it is, but we can fight against it. Definitely for sure. But back to the topic of New Zealand and the idea that they had of tackling this problem that was pre-existing and continued to exist within their country. They decided to take bread and brew it into creating beer. And the gas that is produced, which is also methane, which is contained within the whole brewing process, they take that, they would use the heat and gas generated from that brewing process to create the beer from the bread. They would use it as an energy source to power different things, probably anything within the factory. They would take that and power it. But what ends up happening is that they would produce beer, right? And so, um, yes, they would end up producing beer. So nothing would end up going to waste. Also, if it also they would from after the whole brewing process of trying to make bread, trying to make beer from bread, there would be some leftovers. So they would crush the bread and so on, tear it up, and let it soak inside of the medium to ferment and so on, but they still have that those crumbs and so on left back. What they do, they take it, they drain it, and then take it, ship it off to bakeries that would buy from them. They would turn it into flour, and then the whole cycle of turning it from bread to beer starts all over again. So nothing is wasted. It's crazy. And the bread actually tastes good. It's supported locally. And I'm proud of New Zealand as well as other countries that are following this system. They're taking bread and turning it to beer. So it's back and forth, bread to beer, bread to beer, bread to beer. Amazing. So I thought that was something that everybody should know, that if you think that you can't do something, if you think that you can't do something with a certain thing, best believe there's somebody out there that can prove you wrong. Or you can prove somebody wrong. Go ahead and be innovative. But moving on, right? we're getting into the nitty gritties of. Please excuse me. Okay. I need you to step aside. Okay, I'm trying to. Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritties of this entire problem, finding the solution, which is of course our circular economy. If you have ever looked at the environment, there's always something circular about it. Always something that it's returning to a state and giving back in a different way. um, so what the circular economy does is try to mimic environmental systems that are function in this way to be circular. Nadia, would you like to give an example of as well as the audience, you guys can definitely throw in if you know about any circular systems that are within our environment. Definitely do share in the comments below. Anana will give me a heads up about it, and I will definitely applaud you. So, Nadia, would you like to contribute as well? Do you know about any circular systems within our environment?
Of course.
Let's, of
Uh,
course.
I, I know that there are many biogeochemical processes that take place, and they occur with simple stuff like oxygen and carbon dioxide. And but one important cycle that I really like and I think that is really important is the carbon dioxide. The carbon cycle, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So the carbon cycle is basically a process whereby the outer world, everything is connected with us humans, with the living organisms and the environment itself. So basically what happens in this cycle is that carbon moves from the atmosphere into plants, and then from plants now it moved to animals because we eat food and stuff like that. Yeah, so plants and animals eat down plants and we get carbon.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we die, our body decompose and we return carbon to the soil. So when carbon is returned to the soil, that's in the relation there. And then carbon also moves from living organisms to the atmosphere via respiration. So it's all a process. And additionally, when humans burn stuff like fossil fuels into the atmosphere, those bad gases like carbon is emitted into the air. So when we burn power factories and power plants and stuff, that gas is released into the atmosphere. And that is the cycle. We are just all related. I get this from this, you get that from that, and it all goes back to the same point.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much for the details as well. The
Oh,
details as
thank you.
well.
You're welcome.
Anything from the comment section, Anana?
Technical cycle? Is there a technical cycle?
Well,
Not sure.
that one I haven't. Technical cycle. Okay,
Okay, what?
I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, maybe dealing with technology. Is there a cycle of things? I'm not sure, but that was the one.
Definitely, we'll do some research into that. Some environmental system called technical cycle. So let me just give another basic example: the nitrogen cycle, or or the precipitation cycle, the water cycle. Sorry, that's a basic one. Everybody knows about that. We go from the water evaporates from the land, condenses, turns into precipitation, and is back on land again. That cycle. This is what the circular economy is trying to mimic, so that nothing goes into waste. It's trying to cancel out the throwaway culture that we have of either throwing things in the landfills or burning them out. So not only, guess, like I said before, not only will this save a lot for the environment, but it will also save a lot in terms of economic wise, because now we can make even more money off of this circular system. We're now taking up money instead of discarding. We're producing more annual economic income and so on and so forth. Right. So
Another
because of,
comment. Oh, just wanted to add was bee pollen. Does that have anything to do with this cycle? Somebody's put in the comments.
pardon?
Bee pollination. Is
Oh
that a
yeah,
cycle?
for sure.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'll put that in.
Definitely. Definitely. Um okay. Okay, back to what I was saying. Right. So with the circular economy, like I explained before, with what you saw with New Zealand is that they were manufacturing something, and which was the bread, right? And they were selling it out, and whatever was left out, it went to the consumers, and whatever the consumers throw away is either you can reuse. I think there are people that actually do reuse expired bread on their own. They would literally on purpose leave the bread to expire to create something else. So you can literally do that, and then they would recycle it completely. And it's brought back into the same system of where they're turning bread into beer and back to flour, and the cycle goes on, right? So this circular economy follows three principles, which is to design on our waste and pollution, keep materials in use, and regenerate the natural systems. This is basically a whole summary of everything that I've been trying to explain. So I'm hoping that you guys can definitely take from that and put two and two together and realize, oh, okay, this is really great. Some really great stuff that we can do. So I am definitely coming to an end. Um, I believe in my next session, I will definitely talk more about the circular economy because there is more to it and a whole world out there of what we can reuse, reduce, recycle. But of course, we're not going to leave here without actually having a mission. Yeah, let's go on a green mission, everybody. So like I was saying in the beginning, Project Coco Loco. But I come from a Caribbean country where in every backyard, or almost every backyard, or any block you go in, there is literally a coconut tree everywhere. Coconuts. So I have taken that situation and turned it into my advantage, where I have simply just learned to create coconut bowls, right? Let's make some coconut bowls. So my plan is to share this with everybody that watches this platform. I encourage you to encourage your friends to come on to Blessed Girls organization and actually take something from each of these sessions to learn more about the world and go out there not only with a business mindset to make money like everybody would love to do, but also keeping the environment in mind, the thing that we take what we need to make the money. So here we go. So Project Coco Loco, this will be done in our next session. I'm hoping those of you that are here will be joining. If you will be joining, let me hear you scream yes in the comment section. Any yeses in the comment section?
Yes,
Unfortunately, I
there
can't
they go
see.
on YouTube. We got yeses in YouTube, but they're coming over.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I'm excited for this. But I will tell you this. Okay, I see. So I will tell you this, making coconut bowls is an easy task if you are that person that is determined to make a difference, which I'm sure each and every single person watching this is definitely determined to make a difference. So what you will need is a coconut bowl, sandpaper, oil. This can be cooking oil, olive oil, or linseed oil, and we will also need a handsaw. I know some of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, this is hard work. We're going to be using a handsaw. Yes, yes. It takes hard work to do certain things sometimes, but we still do it because you know you have to do it and you know it will make a difference. I sincerely do encourage you. If you are young, definitely have some supervision. Um, Somebody there that can actually help you or actually use a handsaw for you. Don't let this discourage you. Do not let this discourage you. I promise. I was discouraged the first time when I realized I had to work so hard just to make a coconut bowl. I was like, me? No. But I ended up doing it anyway. And the results were worth it. And finally, what you will need is a marker. So I hope you've gotten your notes down on the things that you will need for Project Coco Loco in our next session that will be coming up. Thank you for listening. Also, as well, Nadia, thank you for coming. Thank you for being there to answer some of my questions and so on. And also, as well, thank you for being here to educate those that are listening about reduce, reuse, and recycle. So I will be seeing you guys next time when we'll be making our coconut balls.
Awesome, awesome. So Nadia, any closing words before you go to the audience?
Um, of course. So I hope that today's session was informative in some form or the other. Um, I do look forward to seeing and, of course, working with this organization as well into doing the same things and making a difference. That's what we're all here for, right? Given the circumstance of the world today. So, what I can say now is thank you guys for coming and for being here with us and supporting us throughout this session. I do look forward for you guys, and I also do look forward to being with blessed girls more often, of course. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for being here and sharing and coming on board and helping us really to continue to raise awareness, educate, and empower people in this act, taking action when it comes to climate change. So and improving our relationship with the environment. So we certainly thank you and appreciate you for being here. All right, and to our climate change champion, thank you so much for sharing tonight with the audience and having this workshop here. I learned so much linear economy and the circular economy, and to know that bread is the number one wasted food and contributor to greenhouse gases. Did I say that right?
Oh,
To
well, let me just say
oh,
if it was a country, if food waste was a country, it would be the third largest contributor to greenhouse gases.
wow,
So
wow, wow, wow.
somewhat so, yes.
Yeah, it's just huge. I think even in the book we wrote, like, listen, global warming and climate change, climate change is so huge. I feel like the house is on fire and the alarm is not sounding. Like, you know what I mean? We're just walking around totally oblivious to it, most of us, right? And I'm just excited to have you and Nadia and those that come along with us to help us to ring the alarm. That's the bottom line. Like, ring the alarm. Like, this is happening, and raising awareness so that we can really make a change, right, and create a better tomorrow. So I'm excited about that, and I thank you. And I know you are certainly passionate about this thing. That's the thing I love about it. It's just, your natural gifting in this area. And I'm so happy that you can be here and help to educate us. So I learned quite a bit: the take, make, and dispose. That was just with some of my notes, some of the things that, guys, if you're watching, is there any takeaways? Then we want you to do that. And so the staple food for the wealthy is bread, and I want to learn more about New Zealand. And I know just in a lot of ways they're incredible in some things that they're doing as far as climate change and such, being an example. So this was just some good stuff. So like I said, I got my notes, and I'm going to continue to live, learn civility through what you are training in your example as well. So any closing words from you, and then I'll end our show today, workshop.
Well, of course. I think definitely there are more people out there that, like, for those of you that are watching, that would definitely want to join the platform and continue also contribute into making a difference. I personally am inviting you to contact me if you would definitely love to join the climate change, be part of Blessed Girls Climate Change Ambassadors, to definitely contact me and reach out, and let's see where we can go from there, because this is an opportunity for you not only to learn but to expand your career path as a person and so on and so forth. Lovely. Also, keep having, for those of you that are watching, keep having that passion that you have to advocate for nature, for the things that can speak for themselves. So, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a blessed day. I love your hearts.
Love it, love it, love it. We're getting the hearts. They are chiming in. So I'm so grateful for that. Just some, again, just to raise awareness and to think about what we do. Like you have choices, right? And it's the things that we all do on a daily basis that can have like a compounding effect on our future. So that's what this is about. So we'll be back. I can't wait for Coco Loco for that workshop. So guys, as you're watching, please share this broadcast, the YouTube, the Facebook.
Definitely.
Share and help us get the word out there and make sure that this education, instruction, and this workshop moves forward. So thank you, Landra. So thank you guys for tuning in. And again, the choices are, listen, we're going to use our reusable bottles versus our plastic, right? So try to use reusable. When you go and you're getting your coffee every day, try not to use the same cardboard cup and plastic cup, but take your reusable. Make sure your coffee shop, or even better, make it at home and take the coffee with you on the go. And lastly, as far as reusing, instead of using those plastic bags, see my Bed Bath & Beyond, instead of the plastic, take the bags with you, reuse your bags. So this was today's edition of the 3 R's, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. My name is Dr. Anana Pfeiffer Durham, and I thank you for watching this episode, this workshop on climate change, and thank you for my amazing guests for sharing. So listen, make sure you stay tuned. We want you to text the word "bless girls." I hope you see that in the ticker tape there. Bless girls to 201-581-8989, and then you will be connected with our text system, and you will be get some awareness, get some ideas, some initiative, and you'll be sure to stay plugged into when we'll be next, because Coco Loco is coming up next. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Remember to be bold, to be you, and to be blessed.